Hey everyone, it's Tuesday afternoon, and part of what we're going to have for dessert today is, well, not part of, it is I'm going to be making some cinnamon rolls out of the Crescent rolls, Pillsbury Crescent rolls, and I'll be making a cream cheese icing for it, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is make the filling for the cinnamon rolls, which I have a half cup of packed brown sugar, and then to that I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, ground cinnamon. As you can see, I measure so well. Alright, so then I'm just going to mix that together. So it is about, I don't know what time it is. It's almost 2 o'clock. So this will be like a quick afternoon snack, and then whatever's left over we can have for dessert tonight. Alright, I think we're good there. Okay, so I'm going to put this to the side, and I'm going to bring on the crescent rolls, and we're going to unroll that and get those set up, okay? So I have the crescent rolls right here, and it's the honey and butter flavor, but I don't think it matters which flavor you use. So I'm just going to open this up, and I'm going to roll the whole dough out. I'm not going to separate each crescent roll, okay? Alright, I'm going to open this up. Oh. Okay, hold on for this noise. Okay, I just pounded it against the countertop. Alright, so I'm going to roll this out. I have some parchment paper down here. Alright, so what I'm going to do with the seams, where you would separate them as crescent rolls, is I'm just going to pinch the seams together. So has anybody, if you have Netflix, today is our last day having Netflix. We're canceling our Netflix today. Well, we've already canceled it. It just ran through our cycle, billing cycle. We're canceling it because I don't know if I mentioned that before. I might have not. But they're raising their prices like $2 or $3, which is insane. But they've made Netflix to be this really big thing, and quite honestly, and just again, just my opinion, it's not that great. The movies are kind of weird. Some of them are kind of weird. Some of them are good. I mean, I guess, yeah, you get that with whatever you watch, but I don't think Netflix is as good as it's made out to be. I don't watch it as often as I watch Amazon Prime movies. But anyway, today being the last day of our Netflix, last night I did watch a movie. Glenn saw it before, and so I decided to watch it. So if anybody has Netflix and you want to check out this movie, it's called I Care a Lot. And it's about this, I don't know what she's called. She basically takes custody of elderly people that they deem not able to take care of themselves, and she ends up putting them in a home and sells off their property and their everything they basically have, and she gets rich off of it. So it's kind of It starts off a little serious, but then it gets a little quirky. But all in all, it's kind of one of those movies you have to end up watching the whole thing to see what happens. So if you have Netflix and you want to check out that movie, it's called I Care a Lot. So that's that on the movie. All right. So I have my Pillsbury Crescent dough pinched together here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to melt some butter. I'm going to brush it over this, and then I'm going to put my filling on there, okay? Okay, so here's my melted butter. And I'm just going to take one of those brushes, and I'm going to just brush it across the dough. And I'm going to leave a little bit at the edges unbuttered, because that's where we're going to roll this. So I suppose it really doesn't matter, honestly, if you leave the edges or not. And this is what's going to make the filling stick. All right, so we got that. I'm just going to leave that to the side. And now we have our filling here. And now we're just going to put this on here. Try to get most of it on the crescent roll dough instead of on the parchment paper, please. Okay, so if we could just smooth that out a little bit. Put a little bit more over here. Okay, I think we're going to go with that. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually roll this up. Now, some people roll it the short side, and some people roll it the long side. I suppose that it depends how many cinnamon rolls you want. I'm going to go ahead and roll it the long side. So let's and this is the first time I'm doing this, so experimenting with Pillsbury products. Last night I just had a craving for some cinnamon rolls, and I didn't make them last night because it was already late. If it starts to come apart at the perforations, I'll just pinch them back together. Yeah, so I was craving cinnamon rolls. Didn't want to make them last night, so I figure I'll just make them today. That way they'll be fresh, and then I can use them for dessert as well tonight. Not saying this is going to come out the greatest, but alright, here's my roll. Put it back here. Now you can see now some of the edges are uneven, and that's okay. I'll just cut the edges off like this, and maybe just do something with them. Alright, I'm going to get a knife, and then I'm going to start splitting this up. Right. I'm just going to cut off that edge. Cut off this edge, that way they're even. Oh, there's stuff in there, so I might just throw them in there like that. Alright, so I'm just going to start off by cutting down the middle. I don't have very sharp knives. Okay, and then I'll take 1/2 of that, cut down that middle, and then same with the other side. Alright, so now I got 4 pieces here. Now I'm going to cut down the middles of those. I could probably cut down twice in those. Yeah, I'll do twice. Because when these bake, they're going to puff up. And again, they're not perfectly measured. All right. Okay, so we got 12. We got 12 little cinnamon rolls here. And actually, we have more because we have these little pieces. I'll do something with those. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to put them in a big casserole dish, and I'm going to butter that casserole dish. So stay tuned. All right, I have my casserole dish, and this is one of those bigger ones. Then I don't know if it's 9 by 13 maybe. So I'm just going to take some of the melted butter that I already had and just brush this. Just going to slightly brush the sides because these will rise. I don't know if they'll touch the edges or not. Most likely they will. Okay. Alright. So now what we're going to do is just take our little cut up pieces and we're going to line them in here. Like I said, they're not perfect. But then again, neither am I, so. Yeah, since I have 12 pieces, I'm just going to line them up like that. Now my fear is because the dough is loose here that when they expand that they'll come apart. So I don't know, maybe if I should put them closer together. I'll try that. That way when they do expand they kind of bump each other, and maybe that. We'll see. Alright, so these extra end pieces, I've just basically dug a hole in the middle and put some of the filling in there. And I did the same for that. I'll just put them there. We'll see how it comes out. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and throw these in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes, and we'll see what they look like. Alright, so while the cinnamon rolls are in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and make my cream cheese frosting. So in this bowl, I already have 2 tablespoons of softened butter, and 2 tablespoons of softened cream cheese. So make sure they're softened because you're going to have to mix that up, okay? So what I'm going to do first is mix up the two. You can use a mixer if you don't want to mix it by hand. Alright, to that we're going to add a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and mix that up. Okay, now we got half a cup of powdered sugar, and we're going to add a little bit at a time. Oh, the cinnamon rolls are dinging. Be right back. All right, they're not ready yet, but they sure smell good. All right. See, I'm going to put a little bit of milk in here. Just going to put a dab. I don't want to overdo it. And continue to put more powdered sugar in. A little dab of milk. And when I say dab, I mean dab, not even hardly any at all. Boy, it is windy outside. Wind's blowing everything. Alright, I'm going to just throw the rest of the powdered sugar in there. A little bit more milk. Sort of scrape the sides here. Hands are all sticky. Oh, there I go, knocking the camera. Now, the thickness depends how thick you want it. Okay, let me go check them again. Okay, so the cinnamon rolls are still not done. I first set them for 10 minutes because I don't want to set it for too long. I'd rather check it and then set it again. So far it's been 12 minutes. They're not ready yet, so I set it for another 2 minutes. But like I was saying, in the icing, it's basically how thick you want it. If you want to, like, put it in a Ziploc bag, cut off the end and squeeze it on, or you want to take a spatula and spread it on, totally up to you how thick you want this. But I think I'm going to try that thickness for now. I'm going to go ahead and scrape off my edges here. Yeah, that's a pretty good consistency, I think. If you want it more liquidy, like runny, so you can just drizzle over it, then add a little bit more milk to it. But I didn't want to put too much milk and have it too runny. So I think I'm going to stick to that for now. Let me taste it. Oh yeah, definitely can taste that cream cheese. It's got a good taste to it. Oh yeah. Alright, so I'm going to leave that there until I'm ready to put it over the cinnamon rolls, so we'll be back. Alright, so here are the cinnamon rolls. They're done now. So the total time I had them in the oven at 350 was about 15 minutes. But if you do this, just check them. Now, these are a little flatter than the normal cinnamon rolls because I think I needed a tighter compartment for them. So maybe a pie pan would have been good, or a smaller casserole dish. I wasn't sure how big these would be, so, but that's okay. They smell good, they look good. So I'm just going to let them cool off just a little bit before I ice them. Okay, so stay tuned. Okay, so I moved my cinnamon rolls to a plate here. They look really nice and pretty. They're really soft. As I said, I probably should have used something where they're going to be packed tighter so they could rise up more, but that's okay. They're still going to taste good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and frost them now. I'm going to just use this to spread the cream cheese frosting over these. Alright, so yeah, that's how they're going to look. Maybe they might melt a little bit, so I will frost them all and I'll be right back. Alright, here it is. These are my cinnamon rolls with the cream cheese frosting. So, what's left to do? I think try one. Yes, I think I will try one. I think in this case it's a must. Okay guys, that was good. That was delicious. I loved it. I am happy with how they came out, just as they are. If you're going to make more, the icing I made was just enough to make all this. So if you're going to make more, you want to double that. So yeah, definitely good. I think I'm going to have some milk and some cinnamon rolls now. Glenn might want some coffee with it. So that is what's for dessert on Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in.